All right, hello everybody. Let's transition over to the main screen. I've got two fantastic guests today. I've got the King and 0thmaxima to talk about a very NBN, though not exclusively filled day. Let me get the music turned off. Um, but I think this should be a fun chat, and I will have both the King and 0thmaxima introduce themselves very quickly. So, Phil, do you want to go first? Oh, wait, hold on, Phil. Hold on, Phil. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, you forgot to turn me on. Oh,
I
there we go.
did forget to turn you on. So let's have you do that take again.
Oh, sure. Oh, no, it was awful. I'm Phil. I do the Shadow Net. You might have listened to it. If not, then you're probably in a better place in life than most of us. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like Netrunner. I'll talk about cards.
For someone who's put out more Netrunner content than I would say 99% of Netrunner players, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
Oh, sure. Some people blame me for those JNet hats, but don't listen to them. There we go.
Oh, wait, hold
That's my
on.
intro.
I still need to buy, I need to like commission those to become a real set of print and plays. Those are some of my favorite alts of all time. Um,
Yeah, don't
so
know how fondly it would be looked upon to just be like, oh, reprinting all these SSG cards that I like Photoshop for 2 seconds. Look, under the table, it's probably fine. Just
yeah,
don't
yeah.
mention it, you know?
No one, there's only like 20 people watching right now. It's fine.
No wonder. No wonder. Do I have some of those cards in real life? Maybe.
All right, Brandon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Brandon, the king on every platform thingy. Um, yeah, I'm super excited. Um, love me some NBN and Netrunner cards, and um,
Yeah,
yeah,
you've been tearing it up this year, coming basically bubbling every major event that's happened this year. I think.
yeah, yeah. It's been good. Also, just quickly, just shout outs to everyone who's made Netrunner like amazing this year. Just been to so many events. We've come back, obviously, play in person and everything. So, um, everyone, it's been great. Let's keep going.
All right,
You
and
just want fresh meat in the tournament scene to like grind through. Look, don't listen to Brandon.
Wow! Whoa! Listen, just because you're from the Shadow Net and you're tired of being the heel doesn't mean you have to come at me. You know?
I'm definitely the heel on the Shadow Net. Yeah, that's probably true.
my other usual intro question as a warm up is just when did you start playing that order? Maybe we'll start with Brandon this time, just to go in that order. Maybe what's your history with Netrunner?
Yeah. So I think I heard about Netrunner in 2017. I guess like after Revised Core, um, me and Dean Tran used to work together, and I'd like stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to do this thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so, um, probably like really actually like my first tournament was like 2018. It was like Canadian Nationals. It was throw me to the fire. Let's do this. Um, and yeah, good times.
And Phil, how about you? I know you've told the story before, but I like to get some redundancy.
Oh, have I told this story before? Maybe. So it all started in the summer of, I want to say 2016, but it might have been 2017. The Genesis cycle was just wrapping up. The spin cycle was just starting to drop. My friend Lando, who lives, we were both living up in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, like really, really in the middle of nowhere. Uh, my wife, girlfriend at the time, had left for the summer. I had nothing to do. So I was hanging out with Lando every day, playing board games. he's like, check out this Netrunner one. And I was like, oh, the theme is sick. I don't understand how card games work. I want to put 80 cards in all my decks, but he keeps saying it's bad. Untrustworthy, clearly. But yeah, we started. I got my own core set after that. We started like buying packs, and then it just kind of devolved from there. But yeah, I've been playing a while. I took a break around the time of the Wayland Anarch box. I think I stopped playing
Okay.
for like
Yeah,
maybe a
Order and
year.
Chaos. Interesting.
Yeah, came back around the Flashpoint cycle. And yeah, been going strong ever since then.
Very cool. Ed saying, can someone ask the person behind me on the bus to stop shouting so I can hear these essential intros? Well, you know, I think honestly we vamped for enough time and everyone's here. So let's start with the very first card. I'm going to go in just numerical order today. These first two, actually, well, okay, I might not go in strict numerical order. I have to remember. The first two spoilers today were spoiled on Postus's blog, which was, it's called Logic Bomb, and there will be a link to that in the description. And it's a worthwhile read. He did a nice dive on this card and Nano Civic Grid, which will be the next one we talk about. But he also interviewed someone from the rules team. So definitely please do check it out and don't just spend your clicks coming to this stream. Yeah, Postus and Ruben was the rules team member. Thank you, Jamie. But enough preamble. Let's talk about the card. Hush. It is a 1 credit, 1 MU program subtyped Trojan. It has the text install only on a piece of ice. Host ice cannot gain abilities and loses all abilities except its printed subroutines. Click host this program on another installed piece of ice. And then the flavor text is quiet, I need to focus. And this is 1 influence in Anarch. I will briefly say this art is once again a stunning piece of Scott Mingo work. Just
Scott doing it again.
park.
He's unstoppable.
He really is.
Do you? Oh, I assume you want me to talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, from what I've seen. So I woke up at like 5 a.m. this morning, and then I checked my phone, and there's scoops. So I looked at them all, and then I fell back asleep. I guess they escaped my head because I don't really remember seeing this one. But what I remember of the discussion is it beats everything. Like literally, there's no counter to this.
Yeah, my understanding, the rules is going to look something like this. Basically blanks any ice, and if another ice has a static ability that should blank Hush, for now, based on the way the rules are set up, Hush is going to win.
Amazing. Is this good though? It really depends on those, when encountered kind of things. Like, I could see this getting slotted. Like, the amount of like Meschivenko, toll booths, Anansi's, literally anything. I mean, this seems like an easy counter to those. It's just, is it worth the deck slot? I think in a lot of cases it would be. Brandon, you're actually good at Netrunner. You should talk.
Is this like an easy answer to our Loki problem?
This
Does it beat Loki?
It does beat Loki, yes.
Oh wow! See, I didn't expect that. Because Loki's not even on the card, so I thought it'd be a separate effect.
I think also a big thing that people are just gonna love is just slapping this on an Anansi and being like, ha ha,
Yeah. I think another big one is border control. Just being like, yep, you just spent four credits on a 1 strength 2 sub barrier. Thank you very much.
Get wrecked.
I do see someone in chat talking about like, it was OG-san. Hold up, does this mean you can't break Biroid Ice with clicks if this is installed on it? And that is correct. So technically, you can hose yourself by putting a Hush on. The other one that's interesting is like if you host this on any illicit cards, they don't gain the bad publicity when rezzed. And I think
that's fun.
I think, but I'm not 100% sure that like you can if you put this on an unresed archer, the corp doesn't have to pay the additional cost of forfeiting a agenda.
Please play a lot of this card so I can play a lot of Archer. Oh, that'd
Yeah,
be
please.
amazing.
Jamie is telling me I'm correct, so
Oh my gosh,
There we
this
go.
is a
There's no better
whole
source
new
for it.
world.
yeah.
Wait, sorry, was this? I can't remember. What type was this?
This is an Anarch
Trojan.
program for 1MU.
Just an okay. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
think it's a
got the
fun addition to the game, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a nice. I mean, like Hunting Grounds is not too much longer for this world, so this is a sort of similar style tech replacement that does a little bit more, but is also a little bit narrower at the same time.
Yeah, it's just one of those like release valves for if anything gets out of hand, you know, you can slot this always. So I like it existing. Like, is it good? Are we going to see it a lot? I don't really think so, but you know, I've been wrong before. I'm willing to willing to be wrong on this one.
It's for one influence can save your eco now.
Oh no, my poor Rika. It's fine. I
Right.
Yeah,
trashed
that's true.
myself.
Yeah, if you just pre-put this on the magnet, you can get all your cards back. So, or even you can put this on after, and it will let your eco roam free once again.
Roam free, yeah. Like
This is
that.
on something else though. The magnet can rip it off.
Yes, that's true. The magnet will rip
Okay.
it.
So
And
magnet's not useless.
yeah. So and one nuance here is if a Tithonium is rezzed, you cannot install the Hush or click it onto the Tithonium. But because it's Tithonium's, this card cannot host cards, isn't active until it's rezzed. You can put this on an unrezzed Tithonium, and just so if you're really excited to screw yourself or screw the corp and have a really deep soul raid that's a Tithonium.
I'm usually
Yeah.
pretty excited about both of those, yeah.
I mean, if you're sitting across the table from Baramu, your guest yesterday, then you just soul read that there's a Tithonium in the deck, right?
Yeah, there's just always a Tithonium.
Tithonium,
Easy
yeah.
to read.
Speaking of Tithonium, it's got a fantastic subroutine, which is very relevant for our next card, which is Nanocivic Grid, or as some people are calling it, Nani Grid. This is a 2-cost upgrade region that is 3 to trash and 2 influence out of Jinteki. And it says, whenever the runner approaches the server, you may turn a face-down piece of ice in archives face up. If you do, resolve 1 subroutine on that ice.
I mean, people have been pretty hype on this, but again, I don't get the deck. Like restoring humanity, yeah, but you also want those face downs. I don't know. I think it's fun. I'm gonna be using this probably,
So
but you know, I don't know. I don't know if
I
I see
think
it.
the play here that I see easily is like you're playing that, data loop anemone like Taxamon cards deck or something like that. So they run through, you res the anemone, put the ice face down, and then res this. And if they're not careful, you just Bathinimus 3 damage and they're dead.
Oh,
Or, just do a nasty sub to them and it's or just end the run, or something that trashes anything and just say bye bye boat. Like, yeah, like I think Czechia has cards that's like you're able to discard
yeah.
on the turn that they're running that server, and you can do mean things.
This makes Kakarembo very fun, actually.
I've always loved me some Kakarembo.
You just recharge all your bullets. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like I just think having you're gonna have to, like, you can do spicy things, whether it's damage, runners are gonna have to watch their rig because you can resolve a trash program sub or a trash anything on the board sub, or just an end the run if you're playing the click tax game.
Yeah, I think one thing people have mentioned, of course, is Ag Infusion. The chat's been going off nuts about Ag Infusion because you're, by definition, putting a face down ice in archives that you can now fire off of this nanocivic grid. And then, yeah, Baramu was also mentioning Simulation Reset, which was the Jinteki card we got spoiled early in the cycle, which was trash up to 5 cards from HQ, shuffle that many cards from archives into R&D, and then draw that many cards. So this lets you put some ice that you don't need into archives. So it's really it's got a little bit of nice support here. I also,
That was fun.
yeah, I will say Man vs. Trees says this is an HB card. What do you guys think of that?
This is an HB card.
I mean, this is pretty fun with tier. Sure. I like that.
Is this for like setting up more infinite gank combos? I like that. I'm on board with that.
Well, maybe this is a Wayland card because look, it fires. And then oh no, approach the server. It's not after all the ice. You can't forma carry this, can you?
No, you could, if you just give them like you then, because it is approach, and then form a carry. You can like fire an ice. You flip an ice, fire at subroutines, form a carry. They go past the form a carry, and then you get to, if you have a second piece of face down ice, you can flip that one up as well.
That sounds like my new deck. No one steal it, please.
Yeah, I mean, the question is how you're consistently getting that over like
I don't know.
over
I'll figure that
Managarm.
later.
But hey, I guess with I'm sure there's going to be a way to do it.
Look, 2 influence. I'm saving influence here. It makes sense.
Some people are calling out, oh, you can use Ansel to install itself, which, like, yes, you can discard an Ansel, then install an Ansel for 2 credits, I guess, which is cute. No, I'm sure but there's real uses for that as well. So, and similar with Drafter and things like that. But
I think this is fun. We'll see some blowouts with it, maybe not at super competitive tables, but it's good. It's good to have in the game some of this janky Jinteki stuff that's back. That's like actually scary, right? Like you can pull off kill combos. I'm just not sure about the reliability on that, right?
yeah, it seems a little bit unreliable, but it also, like, especially because, like, oh, the faction has Anoetic Void for trying to score behind. So, like,
yeah,
would you rather have Void or Nanocivic Grid? I suspect you probably want the Void, but you never know. Could be wrong. Well, should we move on to, I think, the cards that at least I think Brandon's most excited about, which are these NBN cards. So we've got Freedom of Information up. It is a 4/2 agenda research, and it says this agenda gets -1 advancement requirement for each tag that the runner has. Oh, and before we go into takes, these were previewed by The Process on their podcast called The Process A&R. There will again be a link in the description. And people should go and listen to that podcast. They actually did a nice job breaking down the current meta and Reality Plus lists, and then talked about their spoilers. So it's a real jam-packed, great value for a single episode.
I love The Process. They're fantastic, fun people, very good podcast. Sometimes I have like anxiety going to sleep. You just put on the podcast, The Process. Beautiful sleep. I love it.
Okay, so yes, please go check out the process, and then we've got this. We've got now the full cycle. We've got Blood in the Water, which is an X2. We've got Freedom of Information. We've got Regulatory Capture, which is a 6/2 that goes down to a 2/2. We've got Ontological Dependence, which is a 4/2 that goes down to a 0/2. And now we've got Freedom of Information, which is a 4/2 that can go down to a 0/2.
think it makes for a really interesting cycle of cards, right? Because one of the things that's nice about Netrunner, and one of the balance points, is almost these divergent win conditions on both sides, really. But this really accentuates that look, these different things that different factions do are now not just win conditions within themselves, but help you actually accomplish your primary one, which I think for the health of the game should be scoring out. Some people may disagree with that, but I think scoring out should be like the default way to win the game, right?
Yeah, I think
Uh,
score. Oh, go ahead, Brandon. I
go.
feel like we've got you're gonna have a take on that one. So
Wait, Phil, they didn't tell you that scoring's cringe?
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't believe them.
That may or may not be Unbanned's model, but uh, um, yeah, no, definitely. I think just being able to, you know, leverage tags into an actual like very good score out plan. Like now, it doesn't have to be just like a boom or, we're gonna like market forces or self growth your life away for like 20 minutes. Like just being able to, score one of these and psychographics here, and I win.
Yeah. But you'd like load up a fat Drago, like real fat, and just windmill these out. Easy. GG.
yeah, I mean you can score 6 points if you. I mean if your opponent doesn't clear after like a hard hitting news, you just like win the game, or you get 6 points, which is pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
So
hard can we windmill these? There's nothing that will let us fetch the agendas and score them on the same turn, is there?
well, a relative won't fetch the agenda for us, but it will let us windmill them down if we can get them in hand, right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Um,
Arella. Cheers,
You
Filbert.
could play that. Is that card that's like 4 cost search for any number of cards still a thing?
oh, localized product line? No, that is gone.
Oh,
But
yeah.
or localized,
Oh,
yeah, it
that
is
would have been
localized
good.
product line. That was a Mumbad card, but that sounds like
Oh,
a fun, sick. Wait, that seems like a sick Eternal
There's
deck where you
always
play like
Eternal.
mid
Yeah.
seasons, localized product line, and like get it down in an Arella server and windmill out 6 points, and then like sneak a 2-1 out as well.
that's your next project for Eternal. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ship it from Mirror Morph is probably the way you do this. Yeah, yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
Easy, easy. Just a mere like 4 influence to get that combo going.
Just to be clear, there's no window to score this after hard hitting news, right?
That's correct. Hard hitting news is terminal, so you don't get any window to. You can't like put this on the board, play hard hitting news, and score.
Yeah.
People in chat are going wild about mutually assured destruction with this card because you can, if you have this on the board, you can then mutually assure destruction and score it, because mutually assured destruction is just a triple, not a terminal, so you have a scoring window after you finish resolving the operation.
Oh, so
Oh,
so what is
yeah.
so what is this like? Just some like NEH bluff game where you have like 3 of these on the board and they haven't been
All
touched,
got to be down.
Yeah.
and you're
Easy.
just like mute and then score 6 points. Got him.
Look, who doesn't like playing against an install runner? Who doesn't? That's the dream.
Yeah, I do. I think it's actually one of the things is, and I might have Jamie clarify, who's in the chat here, the Amani Sanai interaction.
Oh,
Because I think this is always for when the runner steals it, but it's whatever the advancement requirement is when the corpse scores it. But I'm not 100% on that, so I'll maybe have to wait and see if Jamie corrects me in the chat. But that does seem like if I'm playing in a Amani Sanai deck, the runner may not be like rushing to go and check all my unres promotes. So.
oh, that's pretty disgusting, actually.
It'll be good, yeah.
Okay,
Ooh.
Jamie is telling me this might always just be whatever the advancement requirement is. So
The printed advancement requirement. No, the
no,
current one.
I think it's whatever the current one is. So I guess this agenda gets -1 advancement requirement for each tag the runner has is okay. They are
Oh,
active even when the card is inactive. Is apparently the
wow.
ruling in the CR. And of
Fantastic.
course, Jamie
Fantastic.
gives us an exact 9.1.8e. So you can go and look that one up at home.
Have fun, JNet mods.
Oh my goodness.
Yikes.
Yeah.
This is a fun addition to Tag Me NBN. I'm not gonna be playing this, but again, I think it's good for the health of the game.
You will be when you Oracle for me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think it's
deep in the negative Amani traces. Don't worry.
yeah.
18 tags.
I think actually, speaking of Amani to some extent, let's hit the next agenda, which is post-truth dividend. This is a 2-1 agenda initiative, and it just says when you score this agenda, you may draw one card. Short and
Mwah.
sweet. How far we've fallen from the days of breaking news.
The 2-1 though. Like, come on. That's good. That's value.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
a 2-1 that doesn't cost that draws you a card, or if you're playing NEH, draws you 2. I think that's all right.
Yeah.
the child on this card really threw me for a loop, I gotta say. I was like, what is going on this card? Where we have baby cards, and now they're growing up, you know?
Oh
Now
yeah,
they're
so
executive.
yeah, I forgot to read the flavor text on this card, which is, "Hey kiddo, remember what Daddy says about lying? Only when you can get away with it."
How far we've come from the symmetrical visage. Used to be so
Uh,
cute.
uh,
I like this card. Just just having another 2-1. It's definitely going to. You're going to see some interesting, probably some very interesting agenda suites. Now, which is always fun. And I think, yeah, just adding to what Phil said earlier, just really having more of a score out plan um, that you can take advantage of. And man, if we're gonna be windmilling agendas, maybe I'm just gonna start importing some Tranquility Home Grid, get some extra cash, you know. Um, but yeah, this seems fun.
Oh yeah, that is very good. That is very good. 2-1s, I think 2-1s are just fun. But like one card, not a huge deal, but like this could be blank, and I think it would see play.
yeah, I mean, this is what I remember talking about with Elvigar bifurcation. Like, it more or less is a blank 2-1 and sees play, and I would not be surprised that like this is a 2-1 with an upside that's not entirely negligible, and so you'll just score this out. Andre is asking if there's any team sponsorships left in the sponsorship style effects left in the game. I think it's just Amani Sinai, really.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
think like on
unless
score.
there's I don't think
I
there's
don't think
any
so.
else in the game. Um,
But Eternal.
hey,
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
Eternal. Oh my goodness, team sponsorship. Like you can make some really mean windmill NBN decks now because you've got 6 or you've got 7 up to 7 2-1s you could put in your deck. Oh, Einar Koga is mentioning that Arella is also. So you could set up a turn, I think, actually. Um, you could, if the runner is on 4 tags, you could Arella install advance the post truth dividend and advance it, or maybe you have a sand down or something, and you score it. It draws you a card and then lets you put down like one of those freedom of informations, and you can actually just score 7 points in a turn if you can get all 3 freedom of informations in this off on the board.
Easy. Easy.
Windmill.
You really
Yeah.
only need, or you could do 3 of these and 2 of the informations.
Oh
So many
yeah.
possibilities. It's gonna
So many
happen.
possibilities.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe there's also like a semi, fast advance. Not only like Sand, maybe there's some like audacity fun you can have.
Oh, okay. Speaking of children, mine just woke up. I'll be back in like 1 minute. I hope you're okay
Okay.
with that extra bonus guest.
uh, um, yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Maybe onto the next card. There's only so much you can talk about a nearly blank 2/1. I think it's gonna have a big impact on the meta, but it's a little bit hard to predict like from here. Um, Let's see. What are people talking about? Bara Wu saying you can play 4 2/1s and 3 copies of Echo Chamber and score 7 single points in yellow. So you only have a score.
Hey,
uh,
Bod, just import Gene Splicer while you're at it.
oh yeah. um, yeah. Also, maybe you could put the reasonable 2/1s might be okay with the HB. Oh yeah. The HB double that gives the runner a tag or you can play it as a double to give the runner a tag after they've stolen an agenda. What was that called? Uh, Distributed tracing, I believe. Yeah, that's a good shout out. So yeah, I think there's definitely some options for HB, for NBN to use this in a bunch of different suites and open things up. And I definitely think with all the endurances around, if you can justify getting a Rela into a list, it definitely seems worthwhile.
Oh, it's gonna be crushing. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
making
gonna
a
hate
boat
it.
cost like 18, 20 credits seems pretty rough.
Stop hurting my boat.
But let's go on to the next card. This is Gaslight. It is a 0 to res, 2 to trash, 1 influence asset out of NBN. And it says, when your turn begins, you may trash this asset. If you do, search R&D for an operation and reveal it. Add that operation to HQ.
Oh,
On
baby.
first glance, I'm like, this is terrible. No one's gonna play this. But tutor effects, always good. I don't know.
Wait, like, Phil, do you need glasses? What do you mean first glance? What were you looking at?
Just the card, it just seems boring, you know? Like, I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna put it down, someone's gonna trash it. And then I'll be like, I'm never playing this again. And then I'll play against it, and yeah, I'll immediately get boomed or even worse. Who
It
knows?
it
Complete imaged.
it tutors it up. Like it's I don't know. So good.
It
Like
seems it's fine. I'm not very excited for it, I guess.
what? Like
What are
it's
you getting with it? What are you gonna
e-
pull with this?
everything. Hard to choose. Fully operation. Economy. Um, those times where you have the subliminal but you don't have the Hansei, or you have the Hansei but you don't have the subliminal. You just pull it. Like whatever I want is really
Has to
what this
stay on
card
the
does.
board for a turn.
I mean, so does Rashida. Like, this is sick. Like, and it costs me nothing. It costs me nothing to get this, like, to just get any up. Like,
I don't know. You're just exchanging the one card for another card. Rashida actually gets you more cards. Um,
like, oh my gosh.
but
Like,
I'm excited for you to play this. I think we've hinted at it, but I Oracle for Brandon over JNet when the mood strikes.
mm,
One of the more fun situations is when my clumsiness gets in the way and I hit the wrong button. Oh, this is going to be a wrong button card. Don't you worry.
oh no.
So
Um,
just to list off for the chat, just to give you all a shout out. Yeah, there's fully op. CTM has like 6 different operations they want to grab, like Hard News, Psychographics, Boom. Someone else has mentioned sports might use this to grab audacities out of the deck. Um, let's
It's
see.
one inf, so I guess, yeah, you'll see it some places. Sure.
Yeah. Some people are claiming that you're in fact gaslighting us, Phil.
that,
But
I would never.
oh, grabbing next. Oh, baby.
yeah, so the chat was just talking about NAPD Cordon, but I think next is a really good shout. these cards where like you want to grab them on exactly the turn you need them seems really nice.
And we're obbing.
And yeah, I mean like this card doesn't trigger on op itself, but like op is a tends to run some really high value events like extract, but even like this card means that you can run like best defense. You can run best defense much easier. Like I always wanted to run this in the last meta, but I felt like putting one copy in was more or less worse than putting in 0 copies. But now I can put in one copy. I can put in the Gaslight, and the Gaslight won't be a dead card, and the best defense probably also won't be a dead card.
Yeah, this is sweet. Like,
Or they're just all dead cards because it just gets trashed because it's on the board for a turn.
it's behind ice. What are you talking? What do you mean?
I guess you're NBN.
And like, if
hitting.
it's CTM, like, ooh,
That's probably fine. I can't believe CTM's still in the game.
not this conversation. You know, for all those fans, like if you know they're tagged and you just want to like retribution their lives, like so good. Just we're pulling everything. We're pulling everything. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think one of the cards that we are pulling probably is is it the next card that we're definitely getting with this?
Potentially. Give me 1 sec because that's such a good transition. I got to reward a transition.
Well done. Well
Mm-hmm.
done. He's natural.
All right. This is shipment from Vladisbursk grid. This is a 1-cost Operation Grey Ops. It says is 3 influence. It says play only if the runner has at least 2 tags, and then place a total of 4 advancement counters on installed cards you can advance. And the flavor text is don't look at the crates.
On installed cards, plural?
Yes.
Any way you want them. Yeah, this seems good. I mean, 2 tags. Obviously, you could boom them instead, but maybe you don't have boom in hand. Because you didn't pack that last card into your deck because you're me. So you play this instead.
The other thing is like, hey, if everyone's teching for boom, which I think seems like a good way to go in the standard we're heading towards, having an alternative way to win is, I think, pretty reasonable.
This card, like, if you end up with tags, just know it's over.
No getting away with it anymore.
Yeah, just know it's over. Wow, it's plural though. Oh my gosh.
And this doesn't eat the tag like End of the Line does. So how big can we get our Beal here? 8 advancements? What does that give us?
That gets us 4
5
points,
points?
Right?
That's okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's decent for like installing and then playing 2 1-cost operations.
This is sick.
Why not 12 advancements? Great point.
Yeah, why not 12? No, I think it's interesting that because like this card, if the runner has more than 4 tags, you'd probably rather have psychographics, I think, so that you can like install your agenda, and then like psycho your Beal for a silly amount of money. But you know, I see people in the chat disagreeing and saying like, hey, I think this is actually just strictly better than psychographics, which I think
I agree. I think I agree because this is like only $1.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is huge.
And like you're more likely to have 2 than a bag of tags, probably. Like it's easier to get to 2. It's like there's sometimes where I play Psycho and it's like I'm just hoping that we get to this point. But like 2 tags is a lot more reasonable. Like you're gonna get there. And if you do get there, oh baby. Like, because then you could score 2 agendas versus like the one big one and hope they have like a million tags and it costs less. Like, oh yeah, give it to me.
Oh yeah, if you have a Sansan out, you can like install, and then score 2 for sure. Oh wow,
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. People were calling out in chat like, "Oh, if the runner ends on 2 tags, you can still score 2 freedom of informations with this in a single turn."
Yes.
Put your extras on a Vladdy grid or something. That's nice too. You know, there's just
Yeah,
value.
yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah.
ways to squeeze some value out of this card. Um, Yeah, I
Oof.
think it's tricky because like, hey, like boom is always going to be the benchmark. So you have to go into a meta where you're expecting that the runner has some way of dealing with boom, whether that's trashing it from your hand or having a hand size greater than 7, or they're playing Juggernaut Mercs. I don't know. You want some alternate punishment options.
But maybe this opens up the more, NBN like tightrope possibility again, like scoring plan. I know we
Yeah.
don't have exchange, but just a way to be able to really punish tags and score out. And
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
especially with everything else, like you get one of these off, it really accelerates your game plan, right? So,
yeah, I guess actually one really good point, like one of the big play patterns we're seeing in Drago decks right now, especially out of Reality Plus, is they will like build up counters on the Drago to like go for a big swing on the single market forces. But now, like instead of going for a big market forces swing, you could give the runner those 2 tags, install a 5/3, advance it, and ship it from Vlad, and score a 5/3 from hand, and clear out the agendas, which is one of the like deck's largest problems. Is it just like can't actually score in some board states.
or you just put it back on the Drago, make your market forces that more miserable.
Give them 2 tags,
Probably
then
what's
give
going
them
to
2 more
happen.
tags, and then market
Yeah.
forces.
and
We
then
all know it's coming.
and then whisper across the table, how much economy do you have in your deck?
Not enough is the answer.
Yeah. Rude. Either way, this card is a card. Oh, this card is everyone.
It's
Don't
good. It's
catch
scary. Yeah.
don't catch yourself tagged. Don't run with like less than 8 credits. Like all that goodie. Don't do it. It won't
No
end
fun
well.
anymore.
I love me some tags. Whew.
All right, should we go back and hit the other pet NBN card we haven't yet talked about? I think this one's this one's a little less exciting, but definitely,
Let's do it.
let's hit it. This is Klevetnik. I'm going to. That's my best guess on this one. Apologies. This is a 3 to res, 3 strength barrier for 3 influence in NBN. It says when you res this ice during a run against the server, you may have the runner gain 2 credits. If you do, choose one installed resource. That resource loses all abilities until your next turn. And then it has a single subroutine that says end the run. Flavor text, scanning, assembling insult. And it's got a little Napoleonic era hat dude whispering and pointing at something. So
I don't get it. What is the worst this card can do? Like I mean, 3 for 3 is fine for barrier. Traditionally, at least. I don't understand what you do with the extra res thing. Well, I will take $2 to blank. I don't know.
So we must now run before installing our no free lunch or get punished.
Yes. I don't see it. It's fine.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
most of the time this is a 3 to res barrier that doesn't have any other text on it. I think some of the times you can turn off your opponent's Citadel Sanctuary and you feel like a god. Or a no one home, and like all of a sudden you have a kill threat opened up, and you just save and save and save this for that situation.
Does it say when they run or just when it's res?
When you res this ice during a run against this server.
Oh no! Okay, because I was thinking you could do some shenanigans. Oh.
I mean, you kind of can. You just have to like when you trash a border control, you could fetch a Klevetnik from your deck and turn off their meat damage protection.
Right. I was just
Uh,
thinking you could do it in the actual like heavy combo, but it has to. They have to run.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just don't
Vectors.
like playing this over ping seems wild.
Yeah,
But
I agree that ping probably just displaces this most of the time. I guess this is more taxing for corroder and paperclip, but not giving them the tag seems like a pretty big loss. And instead giving them 2 credits sometimes. I'm going to
yeah,
quickly
give them
also
2 credit. You bounce. I don't know.
Vectors asks, does blanking a resource remove its hosted cards? And the answer is no. Usually, blanking cards like that are hosted don't get trashed unless the host card leaves play, basically. And blanking is not quite the same thing. There could, I guess, in theory, be like a host that's like constantly updating and checking, but no host cards in Netrunner are worded that way. So
Maybe this like sees like really niche playing tech if you're playing damage to blank their stone chip. I don't know. This is like
Though,
it's pretty
I
niche.
don't know. I like the hat though. I will say that.
yeah. Yeah, I think this is very much like an incidental tech card that's banked on like blanking resource tech and like Stone Ship chart room and
No free
and no free
lunch.
lunch. Like are cards that you can blank or like Caldera, things like this. Like it's not like there aren't targets, but like you're not gonna like give the runner 2 credits to turn off their daily cast for a turn. Some people are calling out twinning, and it's like, yeah, there's incidental things, and so the question will always, I think, come down to, will I rather have that value, or will I rather have the ping value? So
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll get destroyed by this at some point, and I will eat my words. But right now, not seeing it.
yeah. All right. Oh, and this card was scooped by one of the Netrunner AI generated card bots. This isn't actually an AI generated card, but they snuck it into the feed.
I love that. It's such a great account. I love browsing those. They're so fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of really fun cards there.
I wanted to say one more thing that I totally forgot about. Hush.
Yeah, sure. We can go back to that.
Direct counter to this card. Let's go for it.
So like, does this mean we just can't play Data Ward anymore?
Right.
I mean, it depends if you think that Hush is going to be played at all, right?
I mean, it can do some stuff. I don't know, like, Anarch just has so many good cards, and but like,
Yeah.
if yeah, maybe it could, I think it could be relevant, especially with like, NBN just getting sweet cards and like
Word still works in
Techie
Acme
getting.
though. Even with this, it still works in Acme with this on it. Data Ward, if it's the outmost ice, which is like 100% of the times you see Data Ward, right?
Oh, I guess yeah, it still has his printed sub, so it's
Yeah, and those still trigger untagged, and you're still tagged with the ID ability. But oh yeah, this plus direct access. Now we're talking.
Yes, strike for everyone. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
hot tech. Heard it here first.
Yeah, it's finally direct access's time to shine.
How did you pull up direct access this quickly, you wizard?
I actually I'm so I wrote I'll say Andre, because he's in the chat, sent me a bash script, and I said, I don't understand bash. I'm going to instead type up a Python script to do the exact same task for me. So I have a little terminal sitting here, and I can type in a part of the word, and it'll go and search across all of the cards in Netrunner. So, yeah, Yeah, I need to do some tweaking on it because it like it's very finicky on being. You have to get the first word exactly correct. So like I can't just type makers and get the maker's eye yet. Yeah, I have to. So that's not. That was going to be my project for today, but oh well.
Ah, there it is.
But yeah, I think. But yeah, I think it's like interesting because like Hush is clearly powerful, but it's one of those things like, oh, I'm spending a card. Like this idea of like one for oneing is not usually super great for the runner. At least, or it's like usually a tempo play, right? Um,
But it
and
can move.
yeah, it being able to move is a big deal. Um, so
Yeah, and it's like it's one for one, yes, but like if you find a very exploitable ice, repeat runs, that's obviously better than just one card for one thing, right? If you're getting multiple run value off of this, then it's amazing. But like when is that, right? Is the big question. And does the existence of it shift what ice we play? I don't know.
I'm just gonna spec work this. Just in woo. Good.
yeah, you just get it out, you turn off a card for a bit, and then you spec work it away later.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just making room for your flux capacitor.
Oh man, Flux Capacitor is one of those cards that I don't know is great, but is going to end up in the first draft of just about every deck I run.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Wait, which
glad
one's
it
that
exists.
one again?
It adds a power counter when you pass a card. It's hosted on it.
Uh,
Like,
so it's
yeah.
it's the first time you break a subroutine on hosted card. Or not the first time, or the first time each encounter you break a subroutine on hosted card. So yeah, as Merja is saying, Flux Capacitor is my favorite 46th card. I suspect that's going to be its fate, but I can dream. I can dream. So
Oof.
I love all these cards we've seen. I don't know. Again, I've said this before, but like every time we get a scoop season from NSG, I'm like, I need to understand how to play Netrunner again. I have no idea how to play against any of these cards now, and that's terrifying, but also very exciting.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask as a to start to wrap us up, just how are you two feeling about spoiler season so far? But I guess I've got a good answer from you.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's launches right into 2023 Netrunner and beyond. But yeah, like these cards are very exciting. I'm excited to see what they kind of lead into, and the power we can wield.
Yeah, I think it's interesting
Scary.
how much of the power seems to be like. I don't think there's been an ice in this half that I've been excited about. That we've also hardly gotten any ice. Actually, it's not true. I think Unsmiling Sarina looked like a pretty solid piece of ice.
Wait, what was that?
But a
I missed
lot more
that.
of the power seems to be in operations, in particular. Some assets and upgrades. Actually, I guess a lot of the power in the set seems to be in upgrades and operations, which I think is an interesting place for power to be going.
Wait, what was that ice you talked about?
We talked about it yesterday. Let me go and pull up the card.
I missed that one.
It's the other one you can pay the runner and
Yeah, so this is Unsmiling Sarina Sarivna. There's a V in there. I should probably be pronouncing. When you res this, it is a 4 to res, 2 strength AP sentry. When you res this ice during a run against a server, you may have the runner gain 2 credits. If you do, during each encounter with this ice for the remainder of that run, the runner cannot break more than one of its printed subroutines. Then it has 3 subroutines, which are give the runner a tag, do 2 net damage, and you may draw 2 cards.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, I think
fine.
this is like.
It's all right.
I mean, I think this probably like does a decent job of replacing Funhouse in a number of situations. Because they can't just bounce off of it. It's a credit cheaper and it's a sentry. Like, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
$1 net for. Oh, I just had a toddler fall over.
All right. Well, if you need to go to 10 to the toddler, we can wrap it up.
Oh no! Oh no! Wow. Yeah, well, thanks, Jeff. This was great.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Brandon. This has been a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't
It's
know.
fine. She was just throwing stuff down the stairs.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I would love to figure out a way on like the final day of scoop season, or probably more realistically the Saturday, to just do like a call-in show where people could come on and talk about their favorite card, and they get like 5 minutes to build a deck or something like that. So I'm gonna keep that in mind
Love
and
those.
maybe ping you two as people to come back on and help out with
Yeah.
that.
Can
So
I plug stuff?
oh yeah, I should let my guests plug things, and I should also plug where all
Nice.
the spoilers came today. So let me plug where the spoilers came today, and then I will pass it over to you to plug things. So people should check out both Hostess's blog thread, which is was in a thing called Logic Bomb. I will put that in the YouTube description below. There's also something from the process A&R put out a podcast today that covers. UK Nats in great detail, and then also has a lot of the NBN spoilers we talked about today. And then the last card was from one of the card generation bots. And oh yeah, I'm going to sneak one extra plug in. When Jamie was on, I forgot to ask them to plug something, but they worked on as a rules manager and then contributing designer to World Breakers. And apparently it's going to get a plug coming up, but you should check that out. It's looks like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get my hands on the copy. And now, Phil, go ahead and plug away.
Perfect. Speaking of your favorite card in the set, if you want to bake something related to your favorite card in the set, that's going to be the theme of this year's annual Bake Off. So look forward to that. That's all.
Cool. Yeah, the Bake Off. I look forward to it. I'm always impressed that you do a Bake Off, which is I always think of as a primarily visual thing in a primarily audio medium. But I once again applaud the determination to make the bit work.
I love that it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you've nailed it.
But for reals though, like people should definitely consider doing it. There's been some absolutely fantastic submissions in the past, and it's always even though it's a bit of an odd format mismatch, the episode is always very enjoyable. So
I think it's great. I love seeing what people make. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think with that, we're going to wrap it up, and everyone should. I hope everyone has a nice evening, and thank you once again to both my guests for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for having.